Hello, it's Classy here back with another Tribes video, and today we will be doing a 6-star UR Madara showcase. And this is not that old white mask Madara that was bait for us. This is the real deal. He finally came to this game after around 1.5 years. And of course, this is the reanimated version first, and we'll be getting the other versions later. So since he's such a popular villain with really good art, I decided to spend a little bit more of my resources than usual. So that's why I have him at 6 stars. I got lucky during that live stream summon, and I can do the showcase on my own account because of this. So we have 69,000 power, tier 16, and he is a T unit. So when we look at the stats, soon you'll be noticing that balance that T units like to have. And I also have him at level 90 right now, and 6 stars. So for the stats, the only main stat that is lacking is the critical suppression rate. So he'll have to have a little bit more defense around him than some of the other T units. But his damage reduction rate's pretty high, his damage increase rate's pretty high, his critical rate and guard rate are both pretty high as well. So he'll be able to do some solid tanking, and he'll be able to dish out some solid damage as well. None of his stats go like too overboard, so he's not going to do massive damage, and he's not going to be able to tank massive damage. Now for the links, we have the White Mask Madara and Kabuto with the Snake Cloak. So these are the villains that he worked with during the 4th Shinobi War. For the second link, we have Anoki and Mei. So he fought against the Kages during the war, and that's why we have Hashirama and Tsunade as the third link as well, just because he fought these characters during the war, and obviously he has connections with some of them. Now let's see the tribe specials. So he has a 2-man tribe with White Mask, which is basically deals AoE tribe damage to all active enemies, 30% extra damage when attacking first, lowers all active enemies chakra by 1500, increases all allies chakra by 2500, boosts all allies damage increase rate by 22% for the rest of the battle, and boosts all allies damage reduction rate by 25% for the rest of the battle. So tribes nowadays are having some pretty strong stats and boosts, and this tribe isn't really going to be as good as some of the other ones you can use, and it's also a 2-man tribe, so that also makes it less viable than the others, so I really wouldn't recommend using this. And besides that, they're just better 2-man tribes you could use if you really needed to use one. Now let's go on to the kit. So his first skill, Yasuka Beads, boosts own damage increase rate by 22%, deals single target damage to one enemy after. If a target is a defense shinobi, deals 33% extra damage, lowers all enemies damage reduction rate by 17%, lowers all enemies guard rate by 20%, lowers all enemies guard damage reduction rate by 22%. So this is a pretty strong jutsu. He boosts his damage increase rate first, just to deal the extra damage, and then he'll deal extra damage if he's attacking a defense shinobi. Then if he is attacking a defense shinobi, he'll be a T unit, so he'll deal even more damage on top of that. And this guy should be able to shred tanks. And if he doesn't finish off the shinobi that he targets, he'll lower their damage reduction rate, guard rate, and guard damage reduction rate, as well as that of all their allies. And these are basically the most important defensive stats, so he'll have a benefit either way, and this will allow the rest of your units to finish off the other shinobi on the enemy team. And this is pretty strong. Just keep in mind that these debuffs are not going to be permanent, but they will last you enough turns to have benefit from your next cell and the current cell. Now for the skill 2, deals regular skill 2 damage and then boosts all allies critical rate by 19% for the rest of the battle. So this is actually pretty strong because it's a permanent effect and it's a pretty high percentage. But he won't be using the skill too often. as we'll see with the vitality. Now for skill 4 and limit break, he'll boost damage reduction rate at 23% for him and all allies in the same 3-min self the rest of the battle. Boost guard rate by 23% for him and all allies in the same 3-min self the rest of the battle. Boost guard damage reduction rate by 21% for him and all allies in the 3-min self the rest of the battle. Then boost all allies critical suppression rate by 17% for the rest of the battle. So that's a mouthful, but basically he'll make one cell extremely tanky, and then he'll boost all allies critical suppression rate by 17%. And these boosts are permanent, and they only happen once at the very beginning of the battle. You'll be able to see that soon. And this has nothing to do with him rotating in. He'll basically apply all of these effects right away, so your units will be able to benefit the most. And all of this is defensive stats, so just keep that in mind when you're deciding which units to use for support and such. Now for his limit break 2 effects, he boosts his own damage increase rate by 2.4% for the rest of the battle every turn. Then he'll boost his own damage reduction rate by 2.9% for the rest of the battle every turn. So this is cool. It brings back some of the stacking effects that characters like Six Tails have. So basically, the longer he survives, the more damage he can do, and the tankier he gets. That's basically it for the skills. Now Vitality, he has Intro Chakra 5000, which is really great. It means he'll be able to Jutsu on turn 2 with Sai, and even if he ends up using the skill 2, it's still pretty good. But getting to Jutsu early is great, because you can apply those debuffs right away. And usage-wise, if you think about it, he'll be really strong in Ninja World Tournament, just because of how strong he can make that one cell of 3. He's definitely great in Ninja Arena, not necessarily like the super high top tier units, but you can definitely use him there. And Abyss, he'll have some uses as well. Now for FG and ATB, probably not going to be as effective, so I wouldn't really recommend that, especially because those 2 modes specifically require you to use a lot of specific units on your team, so you don't have that many spaces. Now we'll hop into Arena. So just keep in mind that all the defensive buffs will happen right away, as you'll see on the right side of my screen. Yep, right here. There will be no forward skill triggers when he rotates in, so all of the defense buffs are already applied. Now the only other effects he can have right now are his skill 2 or his jutsu, and since it's turn 3 when he rotates in, he won't skill 2. Alright, here we go. And notice that I have him in the cell with SR Heavy and UR Heavy. That'll just make the whole cell very tanky. And they're also all Uchiha. So you can see the defense debuffs. He did solid damage, and that allows UR Heavy to finish off Sublime, which is important, because we don't want Sublime to attack. Then a stun plus counter damage dealt. So as I was saying before this turn, protecting the cell is important for my team because none of them have turn 1 jutsu, and that's why I want some extra defense. For my energy cell, you can see I have the KCM turn 1 jutsu, and for the spirit cell we have Kakashi turn 1 stun, potentially, or potentially a turn 1 kill to act as protection. Oh, so I forgot to mention this, but his limit break 2 is activating every single turn. You can see that at the right side of the screen. So he'll trigger this turn also, since he's here. Yep, right there. He'll get the jutsu again. Hopefully he can attack a tank. Or actually, get Naruto's going first. Okay. Okay, now Madara will trigger again. Get even more damage increase rate, damage reduction rate. And I have definitely used him for Abyss just to test him out. He is quite tanky, especially as time goes on. So he attacks an A unit, applies the debuffs onto Gaara, which is really good because Gaara is super tanky and he has a lot of guard rate and guard damage reduction rate, etc. And that allows me to finish off this battle quite cleanly. I can showcase my new Ninja World Tournament cells really quickly also. It's hard to get the replays because I think you only have like a certain time period to view them before like you have to enter the tournament again. Oh, well, lucky me. We'll be able to do a replay then, which is really great. So I am about 20,000 power down here, but I have another Uchiha cell, actually. Here we go. All of those early defense buffs. Oh, he's also skill 2ing, so the critical rate will be increased. Yep, you can see that. I guess I'll speed this up a little bit. But basically, we have turn 3 jutsu here. He'll be stacking a damage increase rate, damage reduction rate every turn. Now he'll jutsu after Tobi. Good damage. He debuffs the other 2 units, which is great because Itachi also has pretty strong defenses. Stacks again. So I can definitely see why he is really good for an Ninja World Tournament. Oh, nice. Now he's in a 1v2, so let's see how strong he can really be. He should be able to take a 1v2. Like, in the anime, he took on, like, so many guys. Yeah, see? He barely took any damage. Now, of course, it's T versus T unit. He might take more if there was a nuker on this guy's team. Also took no damage. But yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully that showcases this popular unit. And I'm glad that they didn't give him, you know, the treatment that they give most popular characters in the anime when they first come onto the game. And hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. Thanks for watching.